Hi, everybody. Welcome to Beverly Hills, California. I'm Steve McFarland, the President and CEO of the Better Business Bureau of Los Angeles and Silicon Valley. Our BBB handles about 26 million consumers across the U.S. We also have about 480,000 businesses in our area, and we process about 1,100 consumer complaints per day. Absolutely amazing. Today's presentation is on precious metals, about the products of the precious metals industry. Today, we have three panelists. They're each a CEO of one of the largest precious metals firms in the country. We have Kevin Dermott of Lear Capital. We have Marin Aleksov from Rosland Capital. And we have Sanford Mann from American Hartford Gold. Today's moderator is Frank Motek from the Motek on Business show, KABC 790 here based in Los Angeles. Frank is the resource for business topics across the Southern California area, California, and across the United States. Today's presentation on precious metals will be our first on many different topics. So without further delay, let me introduce you to our host, Frank Motek.
Well, thank you very much, Steve McFarland, for bringing us together for this majestic occasion here in this beautiful spot, the Beverly Hills City Hall. We're right outside the Golden Triangle here in Beverly Hills, so very suitable location. The timeliness of this symposium couldn't be any better with such tremendous interest these days in precious metals, as the price of gold has hit a record high in 2024, and silver right along for the ride as well, the highest we've seen in more than 10 years. And Marin, what are your thoughts about the run-up we've seen in the precious metals here?
Geopolitically, obviously we all know what's going on around the world. Look, inflation also has a part in this, the way we see it. Everything gets more expensive. And we personally, I don't think we're ever going to see gold below 2,000 or things like just when it went 1,000. It just gets more expensive, everything does. And gold is not about making $1 million. It's about protecting what you have. It's a last resort. You get 10, 20% of your assets in gold or whatever, but it's not there to make you $1 billion. It's there to protect if you need it. And with everything going on, a lot of people are scared, especially for the future, domestically, internationally, geopolitically, war, this, that, inflation. It's hard to gauge. So better safe than sorry is the way we see it.
And of course, people are concerned about the federal budget deficit at the moment and geopolitical concerns, things happening around the world. That the wall of worry certainly is being climbed, and strength of the dollar is an issue. All of these things from a consumer standpoint, and we want to help the consumer here as much as possible. People looking for the safe haven, and in the process, we don't want people to get ripped off here. So what is your general guidance for people that are now interested in gold, with it's getting so much attention, for people to preserve their wealth and perhaps enhance their wealth in the future? Marin, what's your advice for consumers getting into gold?
There's a few simple things you can do as a consumer right away. Know what you're getting. No matter what product you decide to buy, make sure you know what you're getting before you send the money. That means an order confirmation, call it whatever you want, invoice, but make sure you get it. Make sure you see what you're getting, what you're paying for it. Like you mentioned, buybacks. Make sure you know the policy on buybacks. Are they charging a commission? What's the turnaround on the buyback? How long does it take for you to get the check? All these things you need to kind of ask. And again, we're not financial planners like they say, so you got to do your diligence. And BBB, which you guys are doing a great job, by the way, does filter most of these companies out. So a lot of good guys out there, and there's also bad guys. So you have to kind of make sure you know what you're getting. I think that's the number one thing you can do, is to make sure you get what you pay for.
A lot of choices for consumers these days with gold coins, gold bars. Although some might look like they're gold, they could be chocolate, right? So you got to make sure you know what you're buying. Marin, your thoughts on the choices of gold coins, gold bars, and other offerings out there?
There's a lot, and gold is ingrained in U.S. history. It's been part of it for hundreds of years. When it comes to bullion-related products, like you mentioned, the Kruger and Maple Leaf, American Eagle, numismatics, like Liberties, 20s, 10s, used to be our currency. There is rarities. There's all kinds of different types of gold you can get into, depending what you want to achieve. education is paramount here. You have to kind of listen to the client, see what their end game is with this. But most of them actually already have an idea. This is nothing new for them. A lot of gold, people that buy or purchase gold are repeat buyers. They buy a array of different things. So we focus on having a big assortment of things you can pick from. And again, there's not just one thing. You can go bars, you can go kilos, 10, you can do coins. So there's a big, big variety you can choose from.
Mm-hmm. Marin, is it too risky to buy coins online, you think?
Again, I mean, there's reputable companies online. And it's a good thing because you can actually shop it around. You can go to Kitco, you can go to these other companies, and you can see where you can get a better deal. I mean, most of the time it's going to be fine. Has it happened to get a counterfeit coin? I'm sure. Hasn't happened to us, knock on wood, but most reputable companies online are good guys. They'll ship it to you. Just shop around, get the best possible price. I think it's a good tool. I mean, I do.
Better Business Bureau, of course, does a great job educating consumers as well as businesses. In your line of work over the years, what are some of the typical scams that you've seen and you want to advise consumers to be aware of?
Again, I go back to what I said earlier. Know what you're getting. You don't want to be in a situation they call it, if you think you're getting something, you're getting something else. And if someone tells you, hey, send in the money and I'll build it for you, or I'll send you the coins, but it's not specifically stated what it is, you just don't know what you're going to get. So make sure that you know. I think that's, again, comes back to the fundamental. I've heard horror stories. You think you're buying X product, but you're getting Y. And that's because it's not there. It's not in writing. So you have to make sure that you do your due diligence with the company. Make sure you know what you're getting before you send them money. That is the number one thing. Or you're exposed. I mean, anything can happen.
Marin, can you share with us some examples that have been so egregious where you've had to call in not only the BBB, but also law enforcement?
Yes, but when it comes to gold, especially we also do internationally in England, money laundering is a big deal when it comes to gold. That's where the biggest scams are. So you have to be aware where the money's coming from, especially internationally. So there's been many, many instances we have to file SARS reports, suspicious activity reports, send it to the banks and so forth. Because not all money is good money. So you have to be careful where this money is coming from. Because gold you can melt, you can reshape, you can transport. And once you do that, you cannot trace it anymore. It could be used for anything. So you have to be very, very careful with that. That's our biggest concern. We spend a lot of time with training our staff when it comes to money laundering, how to detect it, structuring, and so forth. That's, I would say, is our biggest concerns.
Any guidance here for people who see the price of gold at or near record highs, want to cash in and potentially get ripped off in the process?
It comes back to the buyback policy. Make sure you know any company you deal with, look at the buyback policy. See how that works, how fast you get the money, and so forth. Because the best option you have is to sell it back to the company that sold it to you. And that's where the BBB comes in. You have a reputable company, you purchase the product, you're going to sell it back to them. And you're part of the family. You're an extension of their inventory. So make sure that you know the buyback policies and that suits you. Because it's not like you're buying a stock and it's over. Gold's flexible. And what we do, if you purchase an item, we deliver it to you, and you don't like it, you can send it back. You have options in gold. Just make sure, again, do your diligence, deal with a company you feel comfortable with. And if they've been around for 10, 20, 30 years, and especially advertising on TV or radio or being accredited with BBB, chances are they're a good company. They wouldn't last that long. And I think that, again, go back to that, make sure you read all the disclosures.
Marin, on the question of gold fluctuation and pricing, what's your guidance for consumers?
Gold's long term. The fluctuations, it's not the biggest concern. It's a tangible asset, something you get in your hand, right? If you want to play the market or buy and sell, then you can buy gold stocks. You don't need tangible assets. The way we see it, this is for protection. Everyone sleeps better with some gold under their pillow. I mean, I know I do, but I'm not going to worry about the fluctuations. Just you don't sell it until you need it. And when you need it, then you decide what the market's doing. I mean, to predict what the price of gold is going to be, your guess is as good as mine.
We were both around, or all of us were around during the financial crisis, and in those days, people were talking about concern about having gold coins, canned goods, and rifles, and heading to the mountains. Things were that serious back then, and we remember having the conversations already back then, and to some extent now. Say if gold goes to 5,000 an ounce, would you sell it? What would that tell us about our currency at that point?
I mean, the dollar, obviously, if you look throughout history, it's a direct correlation. Dollar up, gold down, dollar down, gold up. 5,000, yeah, you're going to have some issues. I don't know how the economy is going to look like, but the dollar definitely will be weak. And I don't know if that's part of domestic or foreign policies. But anything above 5, 10, 20,000, then you have anarchy. So I don't know. Again, the dollar is the biggest driver when you look at the price of gold. I mean, it's a currency. So if the dollar starts going up, gold's going to struggle. If the dollar drops, gold usually goes up quite a bit. So at 5,000, at that point, the dollar's under quite a bit of pressure, I might presume.
I'm sure all of you are students of history, of course. Remember what happened in Germany in the 20s with the astronomical inflation there. And in those days, in the late 1800s and early 1900s, they had the gold coins, the 5 mark, the 10 mark, and the 20 mark coin. And people lived on those coins because of the gold content, right?
Yeah. Gold is store of value again, right? So think about it in those terms. If you had a gold, because this is a cliche we use, if you have a gold coin 100 years ago, used to buy currency, a $20 Liberty, whatever, you can go in a store and buy whatever you want, big, nice suit, fantastic tailor-made suit. That coin today is what? Spot that goes $2,700. It has preserved your value. You can still go into that store and buy the suit. It's like you said in Germany, right? What was the best way to get money? It was diamonds and gold. That was the only way you can carry your wealth. Couldn't take your house with you, couldn't take the cash with you, because it worth nothing. So you have to store a value, and that was gold, diamonds, and so forth. So it protects your value. It doesn't lose purchasing power. That's what you're looking for, especially with inflation. So again, look at it as that. It's a store of value that preserves its purchasing power throughout time.
Since the financial crisis, a lot of concerns about the strength of currencies, and that gave rise to crypto. And certainly in recent years, and I'd love to hear your thoughts about this, gold appears to be competing with cryptocurrencies. And of course, crypto is much more volatile and will be the subject, I'm sure, of future BBB programs here. But anecdotally, what are you hearing from folks? Are they, when they do cash out of crypto, do they go into gold? And how has crypto impacted your business? What are you hearing from the crypto folks? And
crypto's function is a little bit different from gold. Again, I go back to gold's a tangible asset. Crypto's not. If anything, is the complete opposite. It's a way of moving money around, especially from countries like China and so forth, that's driving this thing. At the same time, the guys that call in, or people that are interested in protecting themselves, or call us, they're not going to call crypto, or vice versa. Crypto guys are not going to call us. So it hasn't really affected us or me whatsoever. It's just another investment, I guess, like stock market or whatever. But it's just not the same concerns. It's a completely different vehicle. I don't see it as a store of value whatsoever. I think you might as well go to Las Vegas and gamble. It's the same thing.
All right, we've talked a lot about gold. There are other precious metals too, folks. Silver. Let's not forget silver now, which has had a big run-up the past year as well. And then there's good old platinum and palladium. There was a time when platinum was more expensive than gold. Probably some of you may remember when that happened. Silver is still well off its all-time high, but has seen a pretty good run this past year. What are your thoughts about silver, platinum, and palladium?
I love silver, not because of the price. I love silver because it's accessible to everyone. It's cheaper. So a lot of people that cannot afford gold can buy silver, which I like, and we sell a lot of it for AOP. It's a good way to start. You accumulate, and then you can always go to gold after that. But there's a big market of people who just can't afford gold, so silver is a good option. And again, like Kevin says, 60, 70 bucks, why not? When it comes to platinum and palladium, I like. These are industrial metals, like palladium, for instance, it disappears. It's used in catalytic converters for cars. It's a geopolitical metal. A lot of it comes from Russia, for instance. And if you have problems there, the price go up. Usually platinum does well when the economy does well, and vice versa. It's not a bad way to go, in my opinion, either one of them. But again, silver I like the most of it because of the fact that it's accessible to everyone.
All right, what is your message, Marin, to consumers who are interested in saying, yes, silver is for me? What are the considerations there? What are the different vehicles? Again, you have the silver coins as well as the Engelhard single silver bars and other bar offerings, right?
It comes back to what we spoke about earlier. It's, again, look what you're looking to achieve. You have bullion silver, you have bars, you have numismatics, you have a array of silvers you can do. Whatever fits your agenda, whatever your end game is, make sure, again, you deal with a reputable company. Make sure, again, you know what you're getting. I think back to that, if you buy Silver Eagles, make sure you have an order confirmation, make sure it says what you're getting and what you're paying for it. And that's it. You just go that route, make sure you have buyback policies in place so you can feel safe about the product you're receiving.
Numismatic, of course, refers to coins, collectible coins. Marin, your guidance here to consumers when they are trying to buy or sell precious metals, specifically gold in this case?
Again, no matter what vehicle you choose, if you choose bullion or premium coins or rarities, whatever, make sure you ask what the fees are. It's right there, it's in writing. Make sure you know what you're paying. If that's okay with you, then go for it. Because the prices are going to vary on everything, depending on which product you're looking into. Some company might have a little cheaper, some not. Some might be cheaper going in, but they charge on the way out. So make sure you know the buyback policies again. As long as you're informed, you can shop it around, you can compare it to other companies. And that's how you get the best deal in any product.
Mm-hmm. Marin, your guidance on being aware of red flags from the folks out there.
I mean, again, the first thing, that's why I think the Better Business Bureau works really, really well. Go make sure that you do your diligence. But again, it comes back to, again, I've said it probably 3 times now. Make sure you get it in writing what you are receiving. If you're going to buy X amount of coins, make sure they're listed and make sure you know what the price is and make sure you have it in your hands before you send the money, because then you're in control. It's like Kevin says, otherwise you can send in the money and they'll send you hockey pucks. You just won't know. So make sure you don't fall for that. That's the number one thing I would stress to any consumer out there. Do your diligence with the company. Make sure you know what you're getting. And again, make sure what your buyback policies are.
I think one person mentioned it, but no symposium would be complete without mentioning AI, certainly in more detail. How has AI impacted your business?
Is it the future? Probably, when it comes to reaching out people and things like that. But that's for all call centers, kind of. It's not, doesn't really pertain to us right now. I haven't seen anything to help us in what we do. But I'm sure it's the future, like everything else. I wouldn't be surprised if it does have a role in the future.
During the course of this conversation, I've come to the conclusion you all have hearts of gold, certainly, and you are gold bugs. I'm curious to know, how did you get started in the precious metals business and in the gold business in particular?
How much time do you have?
You got a nice watch on, so I'll let you be the judge. Yeah.
Well, I came to the U.S., obviously, I'm Swedish, but I came to the U.S., went to college, and I needed a part-time job to pay for college. So I ended up with that guy at gold at $200 an ounce. So yes, I started to work with Kevin back in the 90s. And the rest is history, I guess. Never looked back, love the industry, love everything he does for me, for everyone else. And yeah.
Yeah, that's great. You've been doing it for a long time, and
yes.
Certainly other gold investments have evolved. ETFs, for example. Any thoughts about some of the investments in the equities, ETF choices, gold ETFs, and of course the reverse ETFs and all the other offerings?
There's room for both. I mean, I have clients that have physical, tangible assets, and they play the market. I don't see anything wrong with that. The more the better, in my opinion. But I'll go back to one thing, is that it's supposed to be backed by gold, and this is an issue that a lot of us are saying it's not. So if that's a concern, that should be looked at, because you can trade stock, but if they say it's backed by it, it's not a tangible asset anymore. You can't go and get the gold. So you're basically speculating up and down. If you're looking to buy and sell short term, it's a great avenue. But again, overall, I think it's a good thing. It's an awareness for gold, and why not have both?
Certainly have had a very comprehensive conversation here about precious metals, gold investing, and buying and selling. And is there anything else important you think that you need to let consumers know here before we adjourn today?
Find a company you're comfortable with. Do your diligence. Start small. See how it works. See if you get all the things you need. Know what you're getting. Get it in your hands. Do you like it? Because chances are you're going to stay with this company for a long, long time. People don't sell. Very few. If you look at the ratio in buying and selling, it's a huge difference. So they're going to be your family. You're an extension of their inventory. So make sure that's the one thing. The company is the most important thing, and how it's structured, and that you know what you're getting, and all the buybacks and everything. So you have a full picture of the when you acquire the gold, how the end is going to look and when.
Oh, so appreciate you sharing your expertise with us here. And for the audience here in Beverly Hills at this beautiful City Hall, and for the global audience on YouTube and all the media platforms, what would be the best way to connect with you and your firm for those who are interested in doing so?
Oh, just go to our website or watch TV. You can watch Fox News all day long and get our ads, but you can go to our website, roslandcapital.com, and just get the information kit and go from there. We're available. We're here to educate you.
It's been an honor to be with you here today, and I think you've motivated me to diversify my portfolio. I think I'm going to put some gold coins in my piggy bank, in the cookie jar, and under the mattress. So you've motivated me today. Thank you very, very much for this very educational and important discussion here on precious metals. And I'd like to thank Steve McFarland, the president of the Better Business Bureau for Los Angeles and Silicon Valley, for bringing us together, and looking forward to many more future forums. We wish everyone all the best, and thank you very much for joining us here today.